Every Monday, you start again. This week, I'll finally wake up at 5 a.m., work out, meal prep, journal, meditate. By Wednesday, everything's back to normal. And you think, maybe I need a better system. So you buy another book, take another course, make another plan. Next Monday. Okay, this Monday for real. The cycle repeats. Your life doesn't change. If this is you, today we're going to decode why you collect self-improvement advice like Pokémon, but your life is identical to 5 years ago. Let's look at what's actually happening. First, planning makes you feel productive. You spend 3 hours designing the perfect morning routine. Color-coded, time-blocked, optimized down to the minute. You feel accomplished. I'm really getting my life together, but you never actually do the routine. You made the plan. That felt like progress. So you keep making plans instead of executing them. Making a plan gives you the same dopamine hit as actually doing the thing, but without the work. So your brain thinks, we improved, when nothing actually changed. Here's another thing you do. You have the identity without the behavior. You talk about your morning routine that you don't do, your reading goals that you don't hit, your productivity system that you don't use. You follow productivity accounts, join self-improvement communities, buy the gear, the journal, the planner, the apps. Your identity is established. I'm someone who works on themselves. But your actual behavior? Unchanged. You're not doing self-improvement, you're cosplaying it. Then there's this, you're scared to commit to one thing. Maybe Atomic Habits isn't the right system for me. Maybe I should try this other method. Let me research the best approach first. You switch methods before any method has time to work. Not because the methods don't work, but because sticking to one thing means you have no excuse if it doesn't work. It's safer to keep switching, keep researching, keep optimizing, than to commit and face the possibility that you tried and still didn't change. And finally, every new book is a reset button. You're struggling with your current approach. You feel stuck. Instead of pushing through, you buy a new book. Maybe this is the missing piece. New book equals fresh start. New hope, new excitement, but same pattern. Read it. Feel motivated. Do nothing. Get stuck. Buy the next book. Your collection grows. Your life stays the same. So why does this happen? Why do you consume all this information but never change? The first reason is your brain can't tell the difference between learning and doing. When you read a productivity book, your brain releases dopamine. We're improving. It's the same dopamine you'd get from actual improvement, but without the work. You get the reward without the effort. So why would you actually change when reading about change feels just as good? The second reason is you want identity without behavior. You want to be a disciplined person. Productive, someone who has their shit together. But you don't want the behavior that creates that identity. Waking up early is hard. Working out is uncomfortable. Saying no is difficult. You want the outcome without the process, the identity without the behavior. But identity doesn't come before behavior. It comes from behavior. You don't become disciplined and then act disciplined. You act disciplined and then become it. The third reason is real change is too slow for your brain. You're used to fast results, immediate feedback, quick wins. But real change is slow, boring, incremental, invisible for months. Your brain can't handle that. It gets bored. It quits. It looks for a faster method. Another book. Another shortcut. But the shortcuts don't exist. Only the work exists. And there's one more thing. You're scared of losing your potential. As long as you haven't really tried, you can tell yourself, I could be that person. I just haven't done it yet. But if you try hard and still don't change, that means this is your actual level. that means you're not the person you thought you could be. Better to stay in I haven't tried yet than to face I tried and this is my limit. So you stay stuck. Reading, planning, collecting, but never doing. So here's what I need you to understand. You're stuck in a consumption loop. And it's not because you're lazy. It's not because you lack willpower. It's because consumption is easier than action. Learning is easier than doing. And your brain rewards both equally. So why would you choose the harder one? But here's the truth you need to hear. You don't need more information. You actually need less. You don't need a better system. You need any system applied consistently for longer than 2 weeks. Think about it. You probably have 10 different productivity books on your shelf. Each one has a slightly different method, and each method works. They all work. The problem isn't the method. The problem is you've never stuck with any method long enough to find out if it works. You're 3 days into Atomic Habits, and you're already looking at deep work thinking, maybe that's the real answer. But switching methods every week guarantees you'll never see results from any of them. About the fact that nothing has changed in 5 years? That's not because you haven't found the right method yet. That's because you haven't stuck with any method long enough for it to work. Real change doesn't happen in 3 days. It doesn't happen in 2 weeks. Real change happens after 90 days of boring repetition. And you've never given anything 90 days. Here's what real change actually looks like. It's doing the same thing, day after day, week after week, with zero excitement, zero novelty, zero dopamine, just repetition. Wake up at 6 a.m., again, and again, and again, for 3 months straight. That's what change requires. But you keep looking for an exciting version of change, a version where it feels good, where you're motivated every day, where the progress is visible immediately. That version doesn't exist. Change is boring. Change is repetitive. Change is doing the thing even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it, and you already know what to do. Deep down, you know. Wake up earlier, work out, eat better, work with focus, sleep on time. You don't need another book to tell you that. Every book says some version of the same thing. The information isn't the problem. You already have the information. What you need is to actually do it. Not for 3 days, not until you get bored. For 90 days straight, no matter what. Here's the thing about books and courses and content. They make you feel like you're moving forward, like you're working on yourself. But you're not. You're consuming. And consumption feels productive, but it's not the same as production. Reading about working out is not working out. Watching videos about discipline is not being disciplined. The person who does 10 push-ups every morning without reading a single book about fitness will be in better shape than you, because they're doing. And you're learning about doing. There's a certain type of person who becomes addicted to self-improvement content. And that person is usually someone who's scared of actually trying. Because trying means you might fail. And failing means you're not the person you thought you could be. But consuming content, that keeps the dream alive. I'm working on myself. I'm learning. I'm preparing. You get to keep the identity of someone who's improving without the risk of finding out you can't. And I get it. I understand the appeal. Learning feels safer than doing. Planning feels more comfortable than executing. But at some point, you have to ask yourself, do you want to be someone who knows a lot about self-improvement? Or do you want to be someone who has actually improved? Because those are two different people. And right now, you're the first one. The shift you need to make is this. Stop treating self-improvement like a hobby. Stop treating it like content to consume. Start treating it like instructions to follow. When you read a book and it says, do this for 30 days, you need to actually do it for 30 days. Not read it, think, that makes sense, and move on. You need to close the gap between knowing and doing. And the only way to close that gap is to do. Not to learn more, just to do. Here's what nobody tells you about change. It's not complicated. It's actually very simple. Pick one thing. Do it every day for 3 months. That's it. Not 10 things. One thing. Not when you feel motivated. Every day. Not until you get bored. For 3 months minimum. Simple. Not easy, but simple. And if you can't do that, it's not because you need more information. It's because you haven't accepted what change actually requires. Boring. Daily. Repetition. So here's what you actually do. First, stop buying books and courses. Right now, you have everything you need. You probably have more than you need. Pick one thing you already know. One book you already read. One method you already learned. And actually implement it. For 12 weeks. No, maybe this other method is better. 12 weeks. Commit. Second, make it stupid simple. Not perfect morning routine with 10 steps. Just wake up at 6 a.m. Not complete workout program. Just 10 push-ups every morning. Not journal for deep insight. Just write 3 sentences. Make it so simple you can't fail. So simple you can't optimize. So simple you just have to do it. Because the moment you make it complicated, you give yourself an excuse to quit. Third, track behavior. Don't track. Did I feel productive today? Track. Did I do the thing? Binary, yes or no. Did it or didn't? Keep a simple checklist. Every day you do the thing, you check the box. Your only goal is to not break the chain. You're trying to build the behavior. The results will come later. But only if you build the behavior first. Fourth, embrace boring. You need to hear this. You're looking for exciting. For novelty. For some new method that feels fresh and motivating. Stop. Real change is boring repetition. The same thing every day. Just doing the thing. Again and again and again. Accept that or stay stuck forever. Finally, remember this. You can read 100 books, or you can do one thing. The person who does one thing will change more than the person who reads 100 books and does nothing. Information is infinite. Time is finite. You've spent 5 years collecting information. Maybe it's time to spend the next 90 days on repetition instead. 5 years from now, you can be in the same place. More books, more courses, more knowledge, more plans, and zero change. Or you can know less, do more, and actually be a different person. The choice is yours. But remember this. Action beats knowledge every single time. Stop reading, start doing.